So here we go. Hi Ruben, how are you mate? Wakan Vegan, nice to see you here as well. Ryan Brown from Crimson Studios is going to be coming on. We're just going to be having an interview talking about his eating disorder and how he recovered and things like that. So it should be really, really good to kind of raise more awareness of males with eating disorders. But I hope you are having a great day, guys. Yeah, I'm doing well, Ruben. I've got the Stormtrooper jumper on, mate. You like this? So hopefully he'll be coming on in a wee minute. So how's your day been in that every day? I hope you're doing well. Hi Elizabeth F, nice to see you here as well. Hope you're doing well. Well, as I say, Ryan Brown from Crimson Studios, he's going to be coming on. We're going to be having a chat away about his eating disorder recovery and such likes. So hopefully he should be here shortly. Just kind of raising awareness about males with eating disorders and to kind of try to end the stigma and show that recovery is possible. Obviously at the end of it, I'll be chatting away about eating disorder stuff and such likes. Nice to see you here at AJL. Hope you're doing well. I knew you were having a bit of a rough week and such likes, but Twisted Hippie as well. Nice to see you here. I hope you're doing well. Ruben says I'm going to get fries for lunch. I hope you enjoy them, mate. Obviously I've had my lunch and such likes. I was going through a bit of a kind of upset stomach yesterday. I had a bit of stomach bug and such likes. Nice to see you here, Try. I hope you're doing well. Mandy RC as well. Like I say, basically what I was going to come on and chat about is Ryan Brown is going to come on shortly to chat away about his eating disorder recovery and such likes. He's got a YouTube channel, Crimson Studios. So great channel. Like I say, he does a lot of kind of, it's like comedy and such likes. Really amazing guy. I've followed him for quite a while, and he's obviously, it's really good to try and get on. So if he's in the chat, if he's try saying hello Tommy, I'm dying. Thanks for becoming a fan, Aaron Chilton. I'm doing well, I hope you're doing well too. Yeah, I had a wee bit of kind of rough day obviously yesterday. I was going through a lot of stomach upsets and such likes. I'm just seeing if Ryan's on here yet. I know he said he's just told me that he's watching. He says, how does he guest? So hopefully if he puts his name in the chat, I'll be able to get him on. But like I say, I'm awaiting results obviously for they think I might have type 1 diabetes, which is a bit of an issue, like I say, but hopefully I'm really a bit worried about that, to be honest, because if it turns out that I have got type 1 diabetes, that's going to be a big issue with my eating disorder recovery and such likes. But I just need to keep pushing on, like I say, I'll just need to kind of adapt my diet and such likes. Yeah, try it. It's a bit of a worry to say the least, but honest. I've obviously as well, I'm suffering with severe osteoporosis at the moment, so I'm going for a DEXA scan, which is a bone density scan tomorrow, which will basically show the kind of severity of it and such likes, but just need to keep pushing on. Nice to see you here, Kat. There's Crimson Studios in the chat. I'll guess them on just now. So guesting, hope you're doing well, Kat. Ryan's going to be coming on, having a chat away about his eating disorder recovery and such likes. Hi there, how are you?
I look pretty good on camera.
You look great, mate. Is it say magical?
Do I look acceptable? How are you doing, man?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. I'm really glad I got a chance to talk to you. My life has just kind of been insanely busy. This last couple of weeks are crazy. But
yeah, like I was saying to everybody there about your channel, Crimson Studios and such like I say, you do a lot of comedy and things like that. Amazing channel. I say I'll put it in the chat here so everybody can check it out. Like I say, please go over and subscribe to his channel. He's absolutely great guy.
I really appreciate it. And comedy in a way has been a way I've been able to cope with what I have and what you have. I know I was actually reading your story. I saw a thing posted about you. I don't know if you posted it, but
Yeah, I
it's a
did,
story
yeah.
written about you. And I can relate to the fact that I have anorexia, or I had anorexia. I still have it technically. Like, I'm a healthy weight, but it's kind of a mental thing you live with forever. And I notice it every day.
Definitely.
Especially during the week, it's really hard. I have a hard time making myself eat stuff that's outside of my quote
Comfort zone, yeah.
But I'll give you kind of a short of my story. I was good my entire life until I was about 18 years old, and I don't really know what happened. I had a really rough move when I was a kid. I had a ton of friends, and my dad lost his job, and we just moved suddenly, and it kind of, I didn't accept it. I had a good thing going on, so I didn't want to lose it.
Yeah.
So I kind of struggled for 3 years, and I didn't lose any weight yet, but then I got into a relationship, and I thought my 18-year-old mind was like, man, I'm in love. This is the one, you know?
Yeah.
So, and then we broke up, and that was really hard. So I needed something else to focus on, because I would just sit and like cry all day. It was really embarrassing. But I began to like exercise, because I knew exercise and nutrition was something I could control. So I got really into
Can
that.
relate to that.
I would eat very little, and I would exercise a ton, which I guess is something happened to you as well.
Yeah, I suffered with exercise athletica.
I dropped, and you were a footballer, so
yeah.
And I did track. So what I would do is I would, I don't know, I probably ate like 400 to 600 calories a day, and I would do weights, and then I would do interval training right after that for 20 minutes every day, and I'd probably be working out or doing something, trying to work out, whether it be like a stupid plank or whatever. I'd be doing that probably like 6 hours a day, every day, and I went from 120 to my lowest weight. I was 80 pounds, which I don't know I don't know what the weight is in stones.
14 pounds to a stone, so that's 14, 28, 56. You're talking about, that's about, it's nearly less than 6 stone.
We'll say decently low stones. That's what we'll say.
Less than 6.
But I don't know, just kind of getting to you has really, I like talking about it a lot, because it takes me to a dark place.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
It was really good meeting you, because I wasn't the only one. I know there were other people going through it, but I was in this mentality where I was like, I can't change. Like, I can't get better. Like, I won't be able to do whatever.
Yeah.
I just can't. I couldn't go out and eat with my family ever.
That's what I was going to say. You isolate yourself away from family and friends. You stop doing the things you love. Your eating disorder takes everything away from you. I think it tries to trick you into believing that you can't overcome it, because it basically identifies it as being your identity, but it's not your identity. Your eating disorder is separate, let's say, but it wants you to make you think it's in control.
Yeah, and I'm back to a healthy weight, but every day I have a hard time looking in the mirror still.
I'm the same,
yeah. I would show you if I could, but I used to have, in my apartment, I have sticky notes on my mirror that say, you're not fat, and then it has words, but I won't say those.
It's like Kat Watkins is saying there. She says, I weighed right at 7 stones for a long time, and she's she's basically saying there, like, she feels as if, because she thinks she's overweight, that people won't actually think she's got an eating disorder. But that's what I always say. It's not about the weight. It's got nothing to do with body image. It's the issues that goes on in your head. Because I've seen only too often that people at the highest weight are the ones that actually pass away.
Yeah, it's like a voice in your head that's trying to tell you, kind of dictate your every move around food, or with me, even around exercise and food. And I was in denial for a long time. I met with therapists for like 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
And I don't know, for the first half of it, I was just in such denial. about what they were telling me. I was like, man, these people don't do anything. I'm paying $60 an hour for this.
I know, yeah.
And then actually what really brought about the change for me was I had a personal before I lost all the weight. And he saw this, so we would meet up and just talk. And he was more of a therapist than anybody else. He just yelled at me to eat food. And eventually I just listened to him. And then like I tried to maintain a healthy diet. Like I'm still really anal about it. It's better, but like Monday through Friday, I'm pretty strict on my my calorie intake's good. It's just what I'll eat. I try to eat really healthy Monday through Friday, and then Friday and Saturday, like Saturday and Sunday, I just try to do
bang on. I'm exactly the same. I do Monday to Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, I'll absolutely pig out. I think that's part of the eating disorder. You basically you like to eat certain foods in certain days. It's like the obsessive compulsive disorder.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's so strange because like something snapped in your head, and you just can't go back. But you know what you did before. And you were fine, but you just can't seem to get yourself to do it again. It's interesting, but it's annoying. I know it pisses off my family to no end.
I do it often. Actually, I'll have my calorie intake's very, very good, but I'll only eat certain foods on certain days. I've got to have the same foods and know the same amount of calories that I'm eating on those days, and then Saturday and Sunday I'll eat more. It's crazy, but
yeah. It's really weird because like Monday through Friday, I pretty much I eat the same stuff generally. Like it's different every day, but it's the same every week.
Yeah.
But it has to be like the perfect number of calories or whatever. Or I have a really hard time pushing it. This was the first week I've actually eaten some other stuff outside of what I would consider norm because we had a bunch of leftovers from like the holidays, so I was eating that. But like I ate like it was like turkey, but I only ate like the white meat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're vegan, right?
Yeah, it's like that's what I was going to address there. Kat Watkins was saying in the chat there, I think a vegan diet can be dangerous in some ways for people with eating disorders. I thoroughly agree that, yeah, because a lot of times your eating disorder, if you're restricting any food or you demonise certain food groups, such as like certain people will obviously have a raw diet or they'll maybe be 80-10-10 and such likes. If you're missing out certain food groups, your eating disorder latches onto anything that it can. But for me, I'm exactly as it says, just vegan. I eat vegan pizza, vegan cakes, vegan chocolate, and I think that's what you've got to do if you're coming to the vegan lifestyle. You've got to basically be having the same foods that you would have in a standard American diet and just veganise them, because if not, you're just going to be swapping one eating disorder for another.
You have to. It's totally fine, and I think it's cool. My friend is vegetarian. I think it's kind of served her for the worst because she lost a ton of weight. I'm kind of worried about her. But it's totally fine as long as you can still find a way to make it like normal, like whatever that diet is, the normal way that diet is.
Yeah.
Not like to the extreme, because that's what I would do.
Exactly.
I would, man. I cut. So what I did, I totally cut complex carbs out. I didn't eat any carbs.
I was very the same, yeah.
Complex carbs. I would eat like broccoli or like veggies, and then like a meat, and then your body like doesn't process 20% of the meat or something like that, anyways.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, I'm saving calories. So
and that's one thing I was going to say to you about the carbohydrates. Obviously, as well, when you're in a restrictive background for so long, carbohydrates actually are one of the most dangerous things to your body, because it actually can bring on refeeding syndrome. Basically what that is, that's the phosphates and the magnesiums in the serum into your cells in the body that obviously regulates cardiac arrhythmia and such likes. That actually brought on a heart attack with me, and that's one of the things that they really limit in eating disorder recovery is your carbohydrate intake.
Yeah, man. But I wanted to ask, were you always vegan before, or was it just with this?
I've only turned vegan in January this year. I'd actually wanted to be vegan, like I say, for years and years. But obviously, with my dad passing away in November 2014, I said to my eating disorder recovery team, like I said, I've relapsed now twice. I said, I know that the vegan lifestyle is something I want to do. I really think it can help me, and I want to do it for the right reasons, for the animals and for my health. So they told me, they says, as long as you do it, you keep gaining weight each week, we'll support you 100%. And it's really helped me so much, because
that's good.
I look in the mirror and I know what I'm doing is not only helping myself and but helping the animals, and it's actually taking that eating disorder voice away from me in some ways.
Yeah, so what I've noticed is I've been able to hush it, but
Yeah.
And this is something I'll have to live with, is the fact that it will never fully go away. And as much of a bitch as that is, I just have to accept it. So, and it's hard to explain to people that don't know about anything like that. Like, all my friends get it now, my family gets it, but like when I'm talking to like someone I just met, it doesn't like compute to them like why you can't eat this. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's one of the things that a lot of people say to you. They say, when they put down food to you, why don't you just eat? But like I always say, if it was as easy as that, we wouldn't really have that problem in the first place.
Yeah. Man, I'll tell you what though, I binged this Christmas. It was something. It was magic. How was your Christmas?
My Christmas was absolutely great, yeah. Just obviously had a kind of quiet time with my wife and things like that, and she had her turkey roast, obviously, because she's no vegan, as you well know. She suffers with ovarian cancer, so I obviously had my vegan turkey roast. She had a normal turkey roast, and yeah, it was a great time. Like I say,
yeah.
I don't worry about food at all anymore. Like I say, it's never ever been about food with me. My eating disorder has never been about body image or fearing food or anything like that. It's always been focused upon issues in my life, like with grief, and that's been what my problem is.
That's what I think mine really was
Yeah.
The culmination of, I've moved 3 times in my life as a child, so it's been hard every time, and the last one just like pushed me almost to the edge, and then my breakup just totally destroyed me.
Yeah.
And I had nothing going on, and I was like, okay, I'll focus on fitness and stuff like that, because that's something I can control in my life. And then I do have body image dysmorphia, where I do think I am overweight when in fact I'm not.
Can totally relate to that. That's what I was saying the other day in my stream. I look in the mirror and I see somebody at 300-400 pounds. It's crazy, and people were asking me, but do you see me as being overweight because you see yourself as being overweight? But I say, no, we don't see other people like that. It's a thing that our eating disorder tells us.
It's really weird, because it's like, if I were to, like, if I'm talking to my brother, who he actually weighs more than me, but he's a little taller anyways, I wouldn't say he was fat at all.
Yeah.
I look in the mirror and I'm like 30 pounds, well, probably more than that, 40 pounds less than he is. I would think I'm fat. And it's like, and it's not every day, but I guess it depends how busy I am. If it's like a weekend, sometimes I would stand in the mirror and like pinch myself everywhere, because I'm like, is that fat?
Yeah, I do that often.
This is really annoying. And I still do this sometimes. I'll be like, I'll be sitting down with my family, I'll be like, Mom, am I fat? And now they'll just slap me and say no, but it's like,
I do that often. I look in the mirror and I always say to my wife, have I put on weight? Am I fat? And my wife says to me, would you stop doing that? You do it all the time. I can't walk past a mirror without kind of looking at my abs and such likes, and I still do that. I still do it.
I do that all the time. Right.
Yeah.
I'm so much better now. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's like,
yeah, it's what I always say. I think it's an eating disorder is something we're going to have for the rest of our life. It's a lot of people obviously say it's like drugs or alcohol. Yeah, it is in the addictive behaviour, but it's far different, because with them they can abstain from drugs and alcohol, but for us we've got to face our demon every single day, which is food, which needs to keep us alive.
I was reading you would supplement with like Pepsi Max or something.
Yeah, I did often.
I can't remember what I did. I drank tons of. I got on like a health kick, so I would like drink. I read about like green tea and stuff, so I would drink tons of tea, like tons. I spent so much. I still drink a lot of tea, but now it's like it tastes amazing.
It's like Dawn to Dusk saying there, grief started her eating disorder, and she says the eating disorder voice and perception is so tough to handle. It's very true.
Oh, it screams at you sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Kat
And it's
Watkins
hard
is
to.
saying
And
that she looks in the mirror and she
the
sees somebody
hardest
at two
part for
hundred
me
pounds.
now is just The hardest part for me now is just explaining it to people. And I've even kind of dabbled with the idea of making like an awareness video on my channel.
Yeah, you definitely should.
I really want to. Part of me, I don't know. I don't know why I haven't.
I was going to obviously as well to say to you, what's your kind of experience with like treatment with men for eating disorders? Do you feel that you don't get taken seriously, and what's kind of your personal experience on that?
Well, my hard thing is now I don't think I'll get taken. Well, I guess I could show pictures of what I looked like. I looked like a. Well, you look like we looked like a skeleton.
Yeah.
I felt like an Auschwitz like victim that survived or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know. I would like to do a video. I think it'd be good. It's
Definitely.
And part of my thing is I do comedy because it's a way to set aside my actual feelings around things.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
And I've always been like that. That's probably another reason this happened. But I've always done that my entire life, even as a kid. I was like the class clown kid or whatever.
That's what I was going to say. But eating disorder people have got a kind of high perfectionist. I mean, it's all that kind of obsessive kind of behaviour. Yep. We're always highest achievers. We've got to be the best at everything, and that I think that's something that kind of makes us kind of genetically disposed to having eating disorders.
Yeah, I definitely have OCD.
I do as well. Yeah.
And it took over, and that's really for about a year. I suffered with it for 2 years, where it was really bad. There was no recovery at all. And then this 2016 was a good year. I started gaining weight in about January, and then I got to the point where I could like start working out again. And now it's just all about finding that balance.
Yeah.
I don't overdo it.
So
I could sit in the gym for like hours.
Yeah, that's one thing I was going to say to you. How do you, obviously when you've suffered with the kind of over-exercise and such like, how do you cope with that now that you're actually doing a lot in the gym?
What I do is, I don't know how much you eat a day. I eat like 3,000 calories a day. But,
yeah, I'm the very same, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But, so a good balance for me is I don't give myself more than an hour in the gym. I try to keep it to an hour, and I kind of got it down to a system. And I don't do a lot of cardio. I do kind of, I don't know what you call it, circuit training, I guess, if that's what cardio would be.
Yeah.
But, because I could run on the treadmill forever if I really wanted to.
I can relate to that.
I'll do 3 sets, 3 different workouts for 4 sets, and then I'll do a cool down set that's just 3 sets. And then I'll usually have one thing in there that's like an interval type circuit training just to keep cardiovascular health good. But I won't let myself go longer than an hour. And for a while, it was having my trainer, who was like at the gym all the time anyways, he would yell at leave. So that was basically what it was for a little bit. But now that's kind of what I do. And then for a while, I didn't get hungry. So I would set timers on my phone for when I would have to eat usually every 2 hours, kind of. And now I just have it on like a system where I eat every 2 hours. And then on the weekends, it's kind of like I'm eating every 2 hours, but it's kind of whatever's around.
I think that's kind of one thing that you've got to do when you're in recovery, because you obviously, your body's that starved that you don't get the kind of hunger cues to your brain. So a lot of people have to actually eat by the clock, as the same goes, like every 2-3 hours.
Your stomach shrinks, so you don't get hungry.
Exactly.
And I think the hardest part, and I just want to say this for people recovering, is the first couple weeks, or when you hit that moment when you gain like a ton of weight in one moment. And it's just normal, and a lot of it is just like water weight.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. It's fluid. It's fluid, yeah. A lot of people get that, and they often look in the scales and they think, oh, I look fat, but it's actually because your body has been that starved of nutrients, and you actually lose a lot through that. And when you actually, it's basically you gain a lot of fluid. That is all it is.
Yeah, that was hard, because actually I did that, and then I lost. So I'll tell you one last story before we end it. So I was recovering. I got up from my initial weight loss. I went to 94 pounds, And then I was able to slowly regain that. I was up to 106. And then, and I was, back then I was even more anal about food. I was really restrictive on what I would eat. But, and then my family took a trip to London to visit my family for 2 weeks. And I was like, shit, I don't know what I can eat there. So I went back to what I was doing before, lean proteins and veggies, basically. And I lost like 20 pounds. I was back to where I was. And then I got back in for the 2 weeks I was back. I continued to lose weight. I would take super long runs, which was really hard at the time, by the way, because I was so low weight. Like, I would trip all the time. But I would run around my block, which is like a 5K. And I do that every morning for 2 weeks. And I lost even more weight. So, and then it took me about until that Christmas and then this past New Year, to actually get recovering again.
Yeah.
But that's basically my story.
So I'll ask you 2 questions before you go. Like I say, what's the kind of one thing you would say to anybody in the chat here that's suffering with an eating disorder in silence? What would you say to them, basically?
Don't be silent about it. Tell somebody, try and get help, and don't think that it's not possible to get better, because me and you, like right here, we're living proof that we are getting better, and even though it's a struggle every day, it's worth it, because you don't. I was almost hospitalized. I know you were hospitalized, so it's like
many times. It's
not worth it.
And the last one, what's your goals for the next year, and where do you want to kind of see yourself in the future? And
my goal for the next year is to be Dwayne Johnson, but that's probably not a realistic goal. No, I just want to keep. I want to keep improving mentally, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I've started to find that sweet spot of where it's normal again, but it's still a healthy lifestyle. I'm finding that equal balance between nutrition and working out. And working out something I love. I loved it before, and then it became like a necessity where I was doing it out of fear. That's what I always say is, don't do something out of fear. You know what I mean?
Do it out of love, definitely.
Fear is what controls people. Don't give in to that. Just believe in yourself. I just want to continue what I'm doing and keep getting better. It's
been absolutely great speaking to you, and like I say, you're a true inspiration. Like I say, you help so many people, and I hope you make that video, because it would really, really raise a lot of awareness.
Hey, I really appreciate it. We should do it again.
Yeah, definitely. So everybody, I'll put in the chat again. Please go and check out his channel. He's got a great channel as well. I hope you all can subscribe as well. And remember, stay magical.
Stay magical, man.
Lovely speaking to you, mate, and I'll speak to you soon.
I love you.
Yeah, definitely. So everybody, I'll put in the chat again. Please. So what an amazing guy, like I say, he really raises a lot of awareness here. It's great for people to be speaking up about these kind of issues, and the more men that can speak forward, the better. It's like Gabrielle says there as well, my father has an eating disorder, but he doesn't think he does. He works out excessively, his stomach is sunken in, he looks so sick. Yeah, I can totally relate to that. It's really... It's one thing we've got to keep hammering forward that it's not just a female illness. There's many men out there, but unfortunately a lot of men actually don't come forward until it's too late, because there's that stigma surrounding it. And Kat's saying, I tagged you in some pics on Facebook where I was at the worst of my eating disorders. Thanks very much for that, Kat. If anybody else wants to jump in the guest queue, dawn to dusk or anything, anybody at all, please let me know, and I would love to chat away with you for got another, say, 15-20 minutes, like I say. But I was wanting to kind of chat away basically about the kind of things I've wrote down here about types of treatment and therapy for eating disorders. Like I say, obviously the severity of eating disorders and any co-occurring disorders will obviously determine the initial treatment level for you or your loved one to actually pursue. Though it is actually typical to actually begin with the outpatient level, I say, actually a lot of health professionals seen in the outpatient level of a care can actually determine if a higher level of care is needed and refer is necessary. let's say the following things that I've actually wrote down here are the common types and levels of actually eating disorder treatment. First, obviously, is outpatient treatment. Let's say this treatment is actually the least restrictive level, obviously, of care. Let's say men and women actually participating in outpatient programs may actually see a nutritionist, therapist, and other recovery professionals approximately 2 to 3 times a week, which is something I do myself. I would love to guest you, Kat, as well. Let's say this level of care can also be helpful to those who actually need to continue or attend school and such likes. Outpatient treatment, let's say, is also desirable for those who don't have actual insurance to actually cover the levels of care, but actually looking for assistance to stay in recovery. Another one is actually intensive outpatient treatment as well, which is another one. It can be done 2 to 5 days. And then you've got residential eating disorder treatment. Let's say this is actually provided 24 care at a kind of live-in facility. Let's say constant medical supervision and such likes is provided. Let's say these treatments are obviously usually well structured and obviously a type of setting that allows a man or woman to actually focus solely on the physical and physiological treatment, whether that be CBT or whatever. And then obviously you've got the inpatient treatment, as we all know, and then continuing care, which is after discharge at a residential outpatient or inpatient treatment kind of programs as well. And then obviously, like I say, the types of treatment, you've got CBT, which is cognitive behavioural therapy. That's basically a form of psychotherapy that focuses on negative patterns of thinking as well as beliefs and such likes, basically taking back the control of your eating disorder and such likes. Then you've got medical nutritional therapy. That's a holistic method for treatment of various medical conditions and their associated symptoms. This is achieved by obviously using customised meal plans that are actually formulated by a registered dietitian and therapist and such likes. Another one that's used quite a lot is dialectical behavioural therapy, DBT basically. That's a form of psychotherapy that connects obviously cognitive and behavioural methods, and as well as approaching to kind of coping with painful emotions. Like I say, the focus in this therapy is usually on individuals with eating disorders that react to emotional circumstances with extreme behaviours. Components of DBT include obviously the practice of mindfulness and obviously such likes as regulation that are designed for those that suffer like kind of borderline personality disorder and such likes. Gabby Lane says, I'm afraid to try to diet because I tend to, again, get obsessive and don't eat as much as I should. At one point, I was only eating 300 to 500 a day. Yeah, like I say, it can be really, really hard. Obviously, if you're going to be dieting at all and eating disorders when you've suffered in the past, it's really, really important that you do that structured with your doctor or a nutritional therapist that can do it safely, like I say. Thanks very much, Donna. I say if I can do anything to help anybody, that's what it's all about. And me and everybody, I've fanned Dawn up. I hope Dawn can fan me up as well. But me and Dawn's actually going to be doing a collab shortly on my eating disorder, my eating disorder recovery and her mental illness and such likes. Great person. She's got a YouTube channel. You'll find that as well if you look it up. Dawn to Dusk it is. So like I say, art therapy is another one which is used a lot in inpatient treatment. I find art therapy is really, really great. You obviously get colouring books and such likes. Basically this is a kind of psychotherapy that obviously uses art as a media form to obviously communicate in therapeutic healing. Like I say, basically men or women who actually visualise art therapy and treatment are often guided by actual professionals in illustrating like personal stories through thoughts and feelings and such likes. And dance movement therapy is another one actually. Equine therapy is one I've seen quite a lot. Equine therapy is actually a form of psychotherapy that actually uses horses as a tool for like emotional growth and such likes, based on the premise that obviously the bond between the kind of grow between humans and obviously animals, which is something we do a lot in the vegan lifestyle, that bond between the animals and ourselves. Obviously as well, another one I've wrote down is exposure and response prevention therapy. That's basically, it's essential for kind of helping individuals overcome fears and anxieties. This is basically accomplished actually by using gradual exposing a man or woman to the feared object or circumstance with the goal of kind of desensitising fears. like I say, it's basically focuses on assisting participants in resisting the use of compulsive behaviours that might typically be used to cope with feelings and such likes. And then family therapy, that's one that's used a lot. They kind of use that in the Maudsley mantra. Basically, family therapy is what they use with getting your family to take kind of control in your recovery and such likes. Then interpersonal psychotherapy is a form that actually focuses on like kind of unresolved grief, the role that disputes like role transitions and interpersonal deficits, which is something I've done quite a lot. Obviously because of my grief and such likes. And like I say, the last one is a Maudsley mantra, which I'm actually doing at the moment. My eating disorder recovery team basically focuses on incorporating parents or your wife and such likes, or your partner or whatever it is, basically process for the eating disorders that would obviously include guiding them and helping the person obviously deal with their eating disorders. So that's some of the things that I've kind of wrote down here, guys, and I hope that kind of gives a bit of insight on that. So is anybody in the guest queue at all? Gay forever asking, how does one find a therapist that is knowledgeable in eating disorders? Well, basically I would look up if you've got websites, there's National Eating Disorders Association, which is called NEDA. They're one, I'll put that in the chat. NEDA is one that you can look up. And in the UK, there's B-eat, who I'm actually an ambassador for. If you look up their websites, you'll actually find specialist eating disorder specialists in your area. But I say NEDA is a National Eating Disorders Association. B-eat is the UK one. So they're a great reference to look up and actually find kind of things that will really help with that. Dawn to Dust says there are so many therapeutic techniques to get support and help. Thank you, Tommy, for talking about them. Please reach out and find your voice. Yeah, exactly. You've got to reach out. Let's say eating disorders thrive in secrecy, and the biggest part of recovering from any mental illness is accepting you've got it, speaking out. That takes a lot of the control away from any mental illness. I was obviously as well going to touch upon that a thing that basically what I was touching upon earlier was the kind of connection between OCD and actual eating disorders. Like I say, obsessive compulsive disorder is often, like I say, directly connected with eating disorders, which you know only too well, because basically it's that kind of perfectionist lifestyle. I've got a lot of eating OCD behaviours, I've got to do things at a certain time each day. I've got to have my meals at a certain time each day. I've got to have my clothes sitting out. I've got to do everything scheduled at a certain time of day. Even, like, basically if I walk down a street, I've got to count my steps and such likes. Thanks very much for the likes, Fluffkinzilla. I say oftentimes eating disorders are obviously characterised by obsessive thoughts about obviously the food choices, the calories, the food rituals, such as things like cutting food symmetrically, or basically hoarding certain food items, or using certain kitchen utensils, or having your food eaten in a certain way. So like I say, for somebody with suffering with an eating disorder, suffering with eating disorders and obsessive compulsive disorders, food are actually chosen based on colour, obviously the weight, the shape, etc. And the two conditions are obviously linked through the attempt to obtain that kind of perfectionism. So like I say, because many behaviours are actually related to an eating disorder, can actually be categorised or obsessive or a compulsive disorder and anxiety at the exact same time. Often the times, obviously, the underlying issues related to the both are obviously very common, and obviously resolving the kind of inner conflicts, but obviously the behaviours associated with both may be actually improved. But I say a comprehensive medical team actually may be beneficial to actually addressing the various needs of kind of both the eating disorder and the OCD, such as the kind of nutritional deficiencies, the medications and the therapy and the psychotherapy, such as exposure and ritual prevention or cognitive behavioural therapy, which I touched upon earlier. So I hope that's kind of raised a bit of awareness and such like. I'm actually going to be doing a lot of videos and podcasts, obviously talking about the kind of refeeding syndrome, and obviously things like the hypermetabolism. Sorry, when I'm talking about refeeding syndrome, what I mean is refeeding syndrome is something that suffers a lot in a restrictive background when you get into hospital. What that is you start to suffer edema, which is puffiness of the legs, and what it actually can do, it's a change in the cells basically. It's the phosphate, the magnesium and the potassium. What these all do is it's basically when they start introducing like carbohydrates into your diet. So they've got to kind of watch roughly about 20% of your diet's actually carbohydrates at that point. So when they start actually introducing carbohydrates, your body goes into shock because it takes up the potassium and such like. You start depleting potassium, and actually it can bring on cardiac arrhythmia and a heart attack. And it actually did with me. I suffered a massive heart attack. I was in a potassium coma for 3 months. It can bring on things like renal failure and such like. It's really, really dangerous. And obviously, like I say, the hypermetabolism that I'm talking about, that happens a lot in eating disorder recovery. What happens there is when you've been suffering from a restrictive background for so many years, your metabolism obviously slows right down because your body actually knows what it's best. Your body, like I say, will hold on to calories because you've got so much internal damage done to your body. Your body doesn't care about fat and such like. It wants to repair the damage done to the inside, which is your heart, your liver, your kidneys, because your body uses up all its natural resources to keep you alive, basically muscle, and obviously your heart is a muscle, so that uses that first. So obviously as well, when you're starting to recover, your metabolism starts to fast up, really speed up, and you can actually start to burn fast amount of calories, everything that you're using, because you've been suffering for a restrictive background for so long, your body wants to repair all that damage. So what happens is you start to suffer from things like night sweats. That is one of the major signs of the refeeding, the hypermetabolism, sorry. And then basically you've got to really watch because it can make you lose a lot of weight because of that. Something I've actually suffered with recently. Just catching up in the chat here, guys, sorry. Hey Fluff, I hope you're doing okay. I love your videos. I've seen them sending you love. Yeah, Fluffkinzilla's absolutely amazing. She's a great girl. Yeah, like Try Vegan says, I went into a potassium coma for deficiency and was drinking. Like I say, yeah, I was in one for 3 months. Like I say, I'd actually suffered a massive heart attack. I was in a coma. I woke up through the coma. I'd actually suffered a near-death experience. I woke up and I actually said to the nurse, because I suffered the near-death experience, I seen all these white clouds and I thought I was in heaven because I was in heaven actually. And I said to the nurse, am I in heaven? She says, no, you've been in a potassium coma. You've been here for 3 months. So yeah, like I say, it's really... Fluffkinzilla says, congrats Jen on your weight loss goal reached the other day. Not much for you to go now. Yeah, Jen's doing amazing. Like I say, she's only got about £5 to go to her goal. So really great, Jen. I send you all my love. Try Vegan says, you don't get rid of alcohol, it just adds up. Yeah. So is anybody in the chat? I can guess anybody for the last 10 minutes. Gay Forever says, I'm going to go now. Thank you for your help, Tommy. Gay Forever, I'm here for you always. Like I say, anything I can do for anybody, just hit me up. Check out my YouTube channel. You can private message me on my Facebook page, which is Tofu Tommy as well. Or even if you want, add me as a friend on Thomas David Cavalier on YouTube. I'm willing to help anybody. That's what I'm here for. It's about raising awareness, and like I say, if my message can help one person, like I say, basically, if it even says, look, this is what's happened to me, don't let it happen to you. That's what it's all about. Yeah, I can try and guess you from the chat, Cat. Yeah, Don, don't worry about that. We'll do a collaboration. Just you look after yourself.
Hey.
Hi there, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
Can you hear me okay?
try to kind of sounds a bit when it.
Oh, I woke up too. Oh, no, I can't hear you anymore. Hmm, that's weird. I can't hear you. I wonder, like, try plugging it in the other one that you had it plugged in. Because I could hear you. Oh, you can't hear me either?